It's so typical of me to talk about myself. I hope that you will. Did you ever make it out of the town? Nothing ever happened. It's no secret that the both of us are running out of time. I'm so then there's me. Of hearing through mouth, not feeling this heaven without humor me. I know you've said it, but say it again. Oh, I know that's me not this time. Say it again. I know that I should believe it, but I never thought someone would love me like you say you do. Say it again, and then say it back to you. You're holding my heart in your hands, but it's the safest feeling I've had. It can't be true, someone like you feels this way for me. Hear 3 little words from your mouth, my heart can't figure it out. So humor me. I know you've said it, but say it again. Well, I know that's me not this time. Say it again. I know that I should believe it, but I never thought someone would love me like you say you do. Say it again, and I say it back to you.
Good evening, everybody. If we can please start making our way to the seats, and we'll start the Innovate 2021 finals in about 5 minutes.
I know that's me not this time. Say it again. I know that I should believe it, but I never thought someone would love me like you say you do. Say it again, and I say it back to you.
Now you say you're sorry and you want me back to you. Now you're sorry one more time, but that is not enough. No, no. And now you're getting close to me, but I won't be there. 'Cause I won't let you bother me again. I'd like to see you cry. Just cry. Just cry now, baby, cry. Cry, baby, cry. Cry now, baby. Baby, cry. And now you say you're changed, that you're not the same one. And you want me to believe again, believe in velvet skies. But you must think that I could never live without you by my side, by my side. No, I won't let you bother me again. I'd like to see you cry. Just cry. I don't care anymore. Just cry now, baby, cry. Cry, baby, cry. Cry, baby, cry. Cry now, baby, baby, cry.
All right. So, first up, sponsors. Alert level 2, so there are a few restrictions that we have in place. Obviously, we've seated everybody approximately a metre apart, so if you could maintain that distance throughout, that'd be appreciated. You can all make sure that you've either signed in using the app or you've used the paper-based signing in, so we've got some contact tracing measures. And at your seats or drinking or eating, if you could wear a face mask, that would be great. Is the emergency procedures. So if we have an earthquake, cool. The rooms there at the back, bathrooms, so if anybody needs food and drinks, we'll have some food that will arrive during the first break, and obviously there's a bar at the back. In terms of cell phones, if everybody could just make sure they're either on silent or turned off. We'd hate those to pop up during the presentations. Photography. So, yes. All right, so how will tonight run the Innovate program? That's in the front. We have the second hardest job in the house tonight. I'll be listening intently throughout the pitches, asking questions, and ultimately pitches. We've got the first 3 up, a quick little break, then the last 4. Once all 7 have had their chance, we'll have 20 minutes of judging. This will be a chance for you to grab to eat, drink 20 minutes while we all nervously wait to see who comes away with the top prize. Final verdict, and they're under strict instructions that they do need to find a winner tonight. There'll be our rewards, and then there'll be an opportunity to stay a little bit later and celebrate.
If we can live,
So how does it work? For anyone with an innovative idea for a business to submit a straightforward application to Innovate. They'll then be asked to fill out an in-depth application form covering all the elements of the idea and its potential. From the mass of entries that we receive, the top 20 are selected. Those top 20 will appear in person in front of judges, just like tonight, and do a 5-minute pitch and suffer 5 minutes of questions from that room of judges. Out of those 20, 5 are selected to go through the incubator program. You'll probably have noticed from some of the stuff we've put out that there are in fact 7 in this Innovate. That was because from the awesome applicants that we had, we just could not choose 5. So we had 5 finalists and 2 wildcards. So 7 all in total. Since June, which is when we first ran this, all of our contestants have been in a weekly accelerator program helped and supported by the factory. They've also had a number of mentors assigned to them who have been working personally and one-on-one with them to get their idea from an amazing sort of spark of an idea through to what you'll see tonight, which is a full business model with customers and everything behind it. That accelerator program that they run, or that they go through, culminates in tonight, where all 7 applicants will get up on stage to pitch these judges their shot to win $10,000 towards their business. Now that might be the main prize for tonight, but as we've been saying to them all through the program, the real prize from this is the 7-week incubator that they go through. that hands-on support from real-world business people who have breathed it and done it is the most exciting thing for us. All right, so who are our judges? We have 5 fantastic judges tonight who are all seated up here at the front. The first is Paul Jeffrey. Paul grew up in Castleford in the 1950s and 60s. After some time travelling and exploring life, Paul was back in Whanganui in the late 80s, where he developed the product Anti-Flam in a backyard garage in Gonville. Anti-Flam topical pain relief has gone on to become a household name in New Zealand, but is better known internationally under the trademark name Physio Press. Thank you, Paul. Our second judge tonight is Paula Ford. Paula has a background in small business startups, both online and product-based. She is personally driven to positively impact others and see them win. Our third judge tonight is Andra is a formal general counsel with Australian Investment Bank and in-house counsel agribusiness manager. She is also a director with Awa Private Equity. Thank you, Andra. Our fourth judge tonight is Sharon Bryan. Sharon is an experienced, active, early-stage investor with a passion for working with entrepreneurial teams. That's enough to start and grow profitable ventures focused on measurable, positive, social, or environmental impact. She was a founding partner of technology investment company Movac and is currently a director of Toha. And our fifth and final judge tonight is Kemp Dryden. It's easy to survive. Kemp has a professional background in banking and investment. He is currently a business development manager for Westpac with a focus on iwi and Māori relationships, a role which allows him to promote and support iwi development. He has a passion for iwi development and is currently a director on Ngātirangi Investment Company. Thank you, Kemp. Fantastic. The next group that I'm really keen to thank are our mentors. This is my favorite slide in the deck tonight. So while this program has been run by Whanganui Partners with support from the factory, we really couldn't have done it without the mentors who have worked around each of the contestants that have gone through the incubator. On the 9th of June this year, we at Whanganui Partners wrote up a list of everybody that we thought we could pull in as a mentor that would bring energy and enthusiasm to Innovate Whanganui. I emailed each of them asking them to help with the selection for our top 20 finalists, thinking I'd get about 5% or maybe 10% of them. But anyone who was there during the top 10 pitches will remember how packed that room was that those contestants had to get up in front of. Everyone I emailed replied, and the turnout over the 2 nights was amazing. Many of those people went on to put their hand up to help mentor contestants over the course, giving them skin in the game for tonight's pitches and bringing amazing real-world experience and knowledge to the table. So a massive thanks to our mentors. And that's really the formalities for the night. We can now get on to what everybody is here to see, which is our 7 pitches, and getting ready to listen to some $10,000 pitch ideas that are going to jump up here on stage. So without further ado, I'll introduce our first pitcher. So Brad Kirkland and Tim Richardson.
Hello.
Yes.
Hello, Whanganui. My name is Tim Richardson. My business colleague, Brad Kirkland. And together we formed a business called Eco Housing. Eco Housing was primarily set up concern and initially set about determining strategies, solving the housing crisis. From need identification tangible products as well as eco housing. The crises in this country, $1.2 million a day is paid by the taxpayer. Buy a house, started on the housing ladder. At Eco Housing, we're passionate to solve that problem and trying to show New Zealand a different way to perceive housing and access housing solutions. This simply really isn't about the colour black. It is about keeping production simple. So we set out to find a scalable housing solution for New Zealand and introduce some smart technology features such as off-grid technology using solar energy, water storage, and unique industry innovative equipment for macerating waste and containment. So basically, we don't in houses.
So what does an eco customer look like? To form that question, we utilised the lean canvas, and that was supplied by Innovate. And what we're trying to utilise is the principles of Kaizen and lean manufacturing to be more adaptive and receptive to the market, because there is unfortunately no one tool. Right now, our primary focus is doing a lot of research and listening to the core customers that are coming through our door. We know that many companies such as Amazon, eBay, and Uber were going through the same process that we were. What that means is, in the part that differentiated them from everyone else, was their ability to adapt to the market in a timely manner and tailor their solutions to the customers that they knew were there. Campaigns from running for sales, we actually found a key with middle-aged women wanting to find batches. And so what my team did is we built a digital platform which is it to be those women. So what's our business model? Our business model is geared around using a manufacturing process and smart robotics, which can estimate Too
I
tough,
get it
yeah.
tough being the first one to talk to you.
Yeah, I'm a little nervous, actually.
But you seem nice and relaxed, so I don't think we need to give you any time out. We just get into a few questions. A couple of things that are missing there for me that I'm just not sure of. Be easy answered, I'm sure. Do you guys see yourself as making the panels, or are you going to use like NZ panels that are already being made?
What we basically did, I spent some time in China and we sourced suppliers of a magnesium oxide board panel system, brought the panel into the country and had the panel tested structurally. So we're basically an importer of materials with a fast-tracked SIP construction method.
Okay, so that's why you mentioned the overseas labour, meaning you'll probably make your panels offshore. Is that
So with
that the idea?
with the early model and what I've done in terms of our business structure is we're starting out with an early model of bringing them in from China just to measure off that overseas labour, and we can't get that output as quick as the Chinese can. But with our year plans we've got milestone strategies between immediate 1, 3, 5 and 10 years. And between the 5 to 10 year plans, we want to have an assembly plant and factory to be able to build those in-house in New Zealand, and ideally in Whanganui, where it's central for the demographic of the country.
Okay. I'd like to hear you say that it's definitely Whanganui, not maybe Whanganui, but
Definitely
that's good.
Whanganui.
We understand that. So can you just now clarify for me, how do you guys see yourself? Do you see yourself as panel manufacturers, as house builders, or architects that will make a design and then someone else will supply the goods? What actually are you?
So I can answer that.
I can answer that one.
Okay.
We see ourselves more involved in engineering. We don't want to join the queue of being builders when you can't get labour. So we see ourselves dissecting the whole process down. To get scale in New Zealand, you have to use the might of China. You just can't physically do it. I mean, so at a lower cost, quality control, we bring in the panelised system, which is a flat pack, basically. So we use software, AutoCAD, and we engineer a building fit for New Zealand purposes.
So have you issued any invoices yet, or no? Not yet. Have you written any invoices for anybody yet, or have you actually made a sale yet? Or?
Oh, we've made sales. We have 3 models in Tauranga.
Oh, great.
We have stock in the country. We have the stock tested, and we've developed a website about 2 weeks ago, where Brad has, and amazing response right across the country. So we're just feeling our way through the market. Whether, we started with the smaller houses. Now we're at 48 square metres, 60 square metres a minor dwelling. So it's.
And regardless of the outcome tonight, has this process made you more determined to continue? You now see your business yourself. Do you see it as successful? You're going to do it anyway?
We'll do it anyway because we're quite passionate about helping people. People can't get on the property ladder. That's the reality of it. I mean, I'm based in Tauranga, Brad's here, but you need $1 million to buy a house in Tauranga.
Okay, well, that's all the questions for me. And I'm be aware that nobody asks these questions from a negative point of view. I like to know, have you actually written your first invoice? Or that's a couple of months away, but, so it's not a negative to say, no, we haven't, or yes, we have. But
Okay. Can you hear me?
You need to put it closer.
Look, it's on. Great. Look, I think it's awesome that you're leaning into such a massive problem. It's something that I've been involved in over the last sort of couple of years. Can you sort of talk about, I suppose there's 2 things. One, are you looking to protect basically the idea? Are you looking, is there any intellectual property that you can protect in terms of this? And if so, where are you at with that process?
We basically have two strengths to our bow, really. One is the off-grid potential utilities where we can macerate the waste and dose it and then basically put that back into the environment. That's our IP, basically. There's only so much you can do in a house. All it really is a smart technology in terms of software, buying offshore, getting the scale, efficiencies in volume, basically. So products that are patentable, we have to be careful here. It's basically the technology side of it, which is the wastewater, the utility, building panels, basically. That answers your question.
And we've probably got time for one last question from our judges.
So
Okay,
just,
hi. Tim asked me to come along tonight, and I'm really honoured to be here, but I didn't know this was going to be such a tease, because I am your customer. For me, you are potentially the OK housing, and I love it, okay? And it's something we don't have here. One of the things I really wanted to understand, because you talk about your potential demographic, and that would be somebody like me, how are you the houses you've already had built? How are you actually, what's your sales process?
so the current sales process of what we do, campaign off Facebook, which is how we approach a shit ton of groups and then see what happens. That gets a good broad range of customer base. We then had them approach to the website where they could click through and contact us via email. But the next step for what we're doing is actually a build your own unit, which is based on our pre-designed style, and someone will pay a 10% deposit upon finishing. So they style it all. But the benefit of that is a data scientist who's actually looking at algorithms where we can target with heaps of ads and promote the purchase of these units.
Okay,
Does that answer your question?
Partly. I'm going to be really naughty and ask one other question. Your product is like approved. Can you talk to that, please?
We brought the product in and we had it tested by a facility, which is actually a competition facility with brands. What we need to be compliant above a 30 square metre house is a P21 test, which is a structural test. So we now fit into the NZ3604, which is your standard method of construction in New Zealand. But to answer your question, we have a compliant system in New Zealand.
I think that's really important.
It's really important.
That, to me, is one of the key selling points of this. But anyway, I'm off script.
Fantastic. As you can see, there's a whole range of questions that we're keen to get stuck into. It's such a great idea that people really want to get. A massive round of applause for Brad and Eco Housing. Awesome. It's no small feat to be the first contestant in the first Innovate Whanganui final to jump up and do that in front of a live audience. That were ready to be asked. All right, so we're warmed up, we're ready to go. Everybody's ready for the next ones. Our next contestant up on the stage is Mike Peterson. So EcoWares is New Zealand's first online subscription service for the rental of sustainably sourced baby clothing. Why buy when your baby will only wear their clothes for a few months? Rent the clothing for as long as needed, then return them for the next size up. Everybody, Mike Peterson.
We are the sustainable baby clothing experts. We aim to revolutionize how in the first 2 years, they'll grow out of at least 6 wardrobes. Another thing we learnt is that eco clothes are very expensive. And being modern parents, we want to do the right thing, make our babies have as little environmental impact as possible. Running anywhere between $40 and $70 per item, a wardrobe would cost easily over $500. And you're going to need at least 6 of those wardrobes. The other thing we had to faced was what to do with the clothes after 3 months once the baby's grown out of it. We have like boxes and bags of clothing filling up our attic at the moment. This is it here. Many parents think that they can sell the clothes afterwards, but you only get pittance based on what you paid for them originally. And a whole bunch of other parents just admit that these clothes into the bin after about 2 years when they're not going to have another kid, they don't have another use for it, so into the landfill it goes. Alternatives to eco clothes are cheap, but they're not manufactured responsibly. They're not ideal for the baby in that, it's just bleached polyester. Babies need better than that. They can't regulate their body temperature as well, and they've got sensitive skin, so they need fabrics that are organic fibers, merino, cotton, for example. We live in a throwaway society where we're looking for a model that not only will a monthly subscription, the equivalent of about $600 a year. The parents can rent the clothes for as long as they need them and then just return them for the next size up. And with our cleanliness guarantee, they can be sure that the clothes will be cleaner than any clothes you can buy at a shop. Upon surveying many people in the Whanganui Manawatu region, we can show that there is a high approval rating for those that spend between $1,000 and $5,000 per year on their baby clothing, and this makes sense because they'll be saving a lot of money by buying our base subscription. The approval depended on certain things like high quality clothing and the contents in the box. At EcoWears we want to have high quality clothing as well, because the higher the quality, the longer the clothing lasts, and the longer it lasts, the more income it generates. They also wanted an easy website process, logistics process, so we ensured that when we built the website, after logging in, it would only take 2 clicks to order the next size up. And shipping would always be free. There would be no damage fees, and they won't even have to leave the house to return the next box. The courier can just pick it up on their doorstep. During this survey process, we have already gained 13 subscribers to our email channel, so got a bit of traction there. I am competing with the ownership market, but when you look at cost and quality, you can see that EcoWear sits in a league of its own. Who are my customers? So there's Sally and Steve. They're a professional couple. They live in a small Auckland apartment. They wear nice quality clothes themselves, and they want their baby to have nice quality clothes too. And so they like EcoWears because of its convenience and the fact that it's minimal effort to get a high quality wardrobe. They don't have to worry about the storage later on in their small little apartment. There's Bill and Brew, and they're the conscious consumers. So they're the ones with the keep cups and the reusable nappies and the hemp shopping bags, to name a few. They love EcoWears because of its circular clothing model and the fact that it's a zero waste clothing option for their baby. And then there's Mandy, and she just likes subscriptions. She's got NZ Dog Box for a dog. She's got My Treat Box for cosmetics. She's got now she's got a clothing subscription for her little baby. So me and V, we are a strong complementary couple. We have identified a pain, and it is affecting all of us. EcoWears is the solution with its novel approach and its emphasis on high quality, affordable, sustainable clothing. We've got sign of traction. So if you want to be part of this journey with us, come and see me after the pictures. Thank you.
Hi, Mike.
Hello.
Hopefully everyone can hear me now. Still not working.
No, I can hear you.
I know. Oh, hang on. Are we away now? Woohoo! Right. That was fantastic, Mike. I know how hard that is to get up there, so that's awesome. I think it's fantastic to hear about EcoWears, and particularly, obviously, with my passion around impact, particularly social and environment.
And that from 0 to 2, the babies don't really damage their clothing that much. They're not walking around as much. You know, they roll around, they might get a stain on it every now and again, but obviously with time, the damage rate, we will know what that is, and we'll just factor it in.
Okay, fantastic. And one last question before I hand over. Have you initiated relationships with potential suppliers at this stage? And I asked
Yes.
that just Little Yellowbird is one example in terms of they
There we
already
go.
have.
Where will I buy my
Yay!
clothes? Yeah. So you know Little Yellowbird, Samantha?
Yes,
Is that right?
I
Yeah.
know Samantha.
Yeah, that was brought to my attention at some point. But, yeah, we have got a little wholesale agreement with her. I've priced my boxes to be profitable after 5.5 months using her prices, which are far more expensive than what I can supply from China as well, or be supplied with from China. China clothes will have to meet those, if not all of those standards. They're the health standard, the organic standard, and the ethical standard as well. So there will be those checks. They're a bit cheaper than hers, but if I can make it profitable using her clothes, then I can be sure it's if I can get from China, as well as her stuff. And yeah, I was at one point talking to people in Pakistan as well, and then there's Turkey. But
Yeah, cool. You could, in your subscription model, as in that extra to
yeah, so
Firstly, sell me on subscribing.
yeah, so sorry, what was the first question again?
I've never heard about this before. I've got a 2-year-old grandson,
Yep.
and we're burning through clothes.
Yeah.
It's brand new to me,
Yeah.
and I've
What do you
never
think
heard
about
of
it? First up.
Oh, I think this is awesome. This is awesome because where I'm selling those clothes at the moment.
Right, okay. I've got a marketing lady with the $3,000 that I've won so far. I've got her to basically work on targeted advertising based on the survey results. Before we start offering the products, and then if there's some bring about that change. The initial, it's kind of a refer a friend program where if we can get a few people
just past the proof of concept in the development stage.
Fantastic. Awesome work, Mike. Round of applause for Mike, please. Well done. As you can see, Mike was prepared there and had some backup slides to try and answer those questions that the judges had. All right, we're ripping through them. This will be the third one that we have before the short break. So I'd like to introduce our third person up onto stage now, Lauren Pete. Surgery and sustain
journey. Why am I here? So 2.5 years ago, I had weight loss surgery. Before I had the surgery, I looked like this. I've lost 54 kilos and I've managed to sustain after having a baby as well. So I'm doing really well. Thank you. And this was the inspiration for creating my business because I saw so many people struggling and I think that they deserve help too. So what is weight loss surgery? Weight loss surgery is the removal of 80% of someone's stomach or completely bypassing their stomach. Unfortunately, it is a tool and not a solution. So the stomach can actually be re-stretched and up to 50% of weight loss surgery clients end up regaining 2 years post-surgery. The weight loss industry is a $72 billion industry, so it's massive. And in New Zealand, we have 300 publicly funded, which is very minuscule, and actually 1,900 clients actually pay for it themselves. They spend at a medium of $26,000. In Australia, there's 25,000 people each year, and around the world, it's more than 600,000 people that are having weight loss surgery. It is a growing epidemic, and people are growing. So, what is our challenge? What are we trying to address? We are trying to address and change lifestyles to prevent regaining weight after weight loss surgery, and also supporting people if they have gained weight. We are also supporting people to move away from yo-yo dieting. It's not sustainable and it's not great for our health. We are offering a non-surgical weight loss support program as well. Imagine just being able to message your nurse in the middle of the night and being like, hey, this is happening, what's going on? That's what we do. So our mission is to become a household name. We will be the Jenny Craig of the weight loss surgery world. Our solution is based on health coaching support. We are offering nutritional, physical, and psychological care. We are a whole inclusive package. So what is the solution? Lauren Pete Bariatric Coaching. We are your partner to a sustainable wellness lifestyle, a platform for ongoing support. So meet the team. So you've got me, Lauren, the registered nurse. You have our personal trainer, Namrata, and our nutritionist, Amanda. Amanda lives in Whanganui too. We are lived experience clinicians. Myself, having had the surgery, and the others working with copious amounts of clients that I have as well. I'm proof that it works, and we were established in January this year. I have had 77 clients through my programs. I also have clients that aren't on the programs yet or are just jumping on board who are already buying our products. How do we make money? We have 3 revenue streams. We have product sales. I sell a tasteless protein powder and supplements. I also have a 6-week challenge, which is a subscription model, which means that clients will come back for a further 6 weeks with changing themes. And then we have our intensive support program, our 12-week program. It costs less than 10% of that $26,000. So, what's in our 12-week program? We offer support, accountability, that after-hours care, evidence-based education. We have the leading experts in the industry. We offer medical, nutritional, personal training. As a breakdown, our 12-week program, you get 9 sessions with me, 3 with our nutritionist, including a meal plan, because people get told to eat healthy, but what does that even mean? And then we also offer personal training to build strength, because as you lose weight, you lose muscle. Who's our customer? This is Carrie. She had weight loss surgery 6 months ago. She's doing really, really well. She has 2 young kids. She loves the outdoors, loves cycling, loves horseback riding, and she's super motivated to be healthy for herself so she can enjoy her life. But she can't do it on her own. She actually needs a support team. So what's Carrie's journey with us? So Carrie bought product with us pre-surgery because she knew she needed extra protein in her diet. Then she joined our Facebook page because she thought, oh, this lady's pretty cool. Then she joined our 6-week challenge because she realised she needed a group to actually uplift her and support her. Followed by that, she joined our 12-week program because she realised the group's great, but actually having a one-on-one person that I can connect with is going to be over and above. And then once she's finished our 12-week program, she'll jump back into our 6-week challenges. But don't take my word for it. What do our clients have to say? Lauren Pete has changed my life. An incredible support team who simply walks the journey with you. 1,000% recommend it. Where are we headed? Our business plan is to grow by expanding our team, both locally and internationally. We are going to be the next Jenny Craig. We are going to start our own line of collagen-based products as well as supplements. So tonight, what does that actually mean to us? I've been so grateful
very interesting and inspiring and
the cost of that. We initially are running at $50 and we'll be doubling it to $95. So it
Per
is
week?
very affordable, but it's a kind of a gateway, if you call it, a bit of marketing.
okay. And what is your delivery? I wanted to know.
Okay. So we are so we're available to anyone. Just to check in and touch base, and the clients that have since finished the 12-week program since I started in January, we do keep regular base with them and see how they're tracking. And a lot of them feedback that they do still need their ongoing, not so intensive support, but just the check-ins.
And one, just you talked about the Innovate process. So what's the biggest learning that you've taken from it, and how has that changed forward?
Yeah, so I'm not a business person by background. Prison system. So I really didn't know a lot, and it's been really inspiring to have mentors that actually have been like, try tweak this in your branding that's going to really help target your market. And I think that's the best thing I got out of it, especially working with Nicola, but also the financials, because money again isn't a strong point of mine, and actually knowing how to price point and all those fun things.
Cool. Is this your full-time role, or how does that work into?
Yes.
And then the rest of your team, where would they be in terms of hours a week spent on the business?
So this came about when I was on maternity leave. So I have a daughter who just turned 1 on Tuesday. And so I decided about a month ago, although I was already in doing the job since January, decided to hand in my and employee, who's the nutritionist, employ her permanently given hours, and then the personal trainer is actually a contractor, and she also has a sister on her team that works in the States, so yeah, it's good.
Fantastic. Sorry, judges, I think that's all we've got time for. Can I get a massive round of applause for Lauren? Thank you. Well done. Have they been? All right, so that's the first 3 that we've had through there. Now we all get a break. The judges get a bit of time. Thoughts that they've made over approximately 10 minutes. This is the chance to use the loo if you need to pick up a drink, change your glasses, or if you just want to talk about who you think's got it and how the night's going and who might. You need to compile your thoughts and that kind of stuff. you give one piece of advice, it's just connect it to your chin and off it goes. Cool? Excellent.
It is kind of a bit. Yeah. Minutes or so. What generally happens is the camera still
still going, so it's still in feed, but it's the connection between this and that cuts it up through the Wi-Fi, and that's when we lose audio. So, yeah, it's, if there was a better Wi-Fi signal in here, we could it'd probably be better. Because we don't get these problems when we run it with the church. It just runs the whole time for the whole couple of hours without any interruption. Yeah, so we just do the best we can with what we've got.
It's much better in the room. It's much better in the room as well.
Yeah. Cool. Thanks, gentlemen. So stressful. We've got dropouts all the time, so I'm constantly having to reconnect. Thankfully the camera stays up, but it's the iPad connection that drops out, and then sometimes we lose audio when that happens, and then it reconnects and it comes back. So it's it's a bit hit and miss, but yeah. But the countdown's working though. Yay!
Did you need something to drink?
I've still got water here, so I think I'm okay, thanks. Yeah. I mainly needed the bathroom, so I was really glad there was a break because I couldn't leave before. So I'm good now. Yeah, that's right. Getting the shakes. Oh, good fun.
Oh, wow. Another 4 to go, and
yeah. Actually, what I wouldn't mind is just a little bit of a sugar hit, so maybe like a glass of lemonade or something like that. All right. That'd be perfect. Thank you. I'm getting Wi-Fi dropouts all the time. So the camera, which has been got that keeps going, which is good. But when this loses connection with the camera because of the dropout, I sometimes lose audio because the audio is coming out of the sound desk into here and out to the entry. So yeah, there are times when the picture's still going, but they lose the sound, and then it comes back again. As you said, nothing I can do about it. Because it tested fine earlier, but you can connect to the network and things like that, and so this you can do without a cable connection. If you've got a wired connection, it's a lot better. So moving on your bike, you're supposed to do a ride? You're coast to coast?
No, it's not till January.
Oh, not till January. Okay, sorry. For some reason I probably missed holidays. So you still got plenty of training to go?
Yeah. We went out for an hour this morning.
Oh, good idea. Yes, so it'll be running hot. You can do it then.
Yes.
Especially that East Coast weather.
I have a dorky kind of thing that I stick around the back, around my helmet to keep the sun off my hair.
Right, yeah. So it's like a fireman's helmet.
So the velcro's on.
Yeah.
Well, it's basically taking off one of those leading ear style bits.
Yeah, you got to do that kind of thing. And like having some kind of water cooling, like something wet.
Yeah, see how it goes. Normally I just wear a long sleeve shirt.
Yeah, so excuse me a second, I just need to... it ran down to 10 minutes and we're still talking, so I've just put up another one.
Is this one doing differently?
No, it's just, that's YouTube, so that's live. Oh, sorry, this is live, that's YouTube, which will be slightly delayed. Yeah. Oh, lovely. Thank you.
put that machine.
It's fine. It's all good.
Oh, check, check, check. All right, everybody, if we could start making our way back to the seats and we'll crack into the rest of our pitches for the evening. All right, everybody, should we get back into these pitches? Woohoo! All right, so what are we up to? Our fourth pitch of the night is a gentleman called Steve Tier, and he's got a product called WandaClean. WandaClean is an invention by Steve Tier that will change the way you perceive your coffee from cafes, restaurants, to home espresso machines. The rag is the current way the steam wand on an espresso machine is cleaned. It does not clean the wand at all. Everybody, big round of applause for Steve.
Good evening. Isn't it funny how problems follow you around, folks? And I've just been shopping as well. My name's Steve Tier. I'm the inventor of the WandaClean machine. It's the espresso machine's favourite friend, or best friend from now on. It's an eco-friendly solution to a potential health hazard that hasn't been recognised really. In 1884, Angelo Modiano invented the espresso coffee machine. For 137 years, rubbish has gone in the ocean, in landfill. It's created a big issue, but no one's really noticed it. Now, everyone will. Every time you go and get your coffee, you'll be looking to see whether the WandaClean is being used. The problem is the rag. It's unhygienic, it goes everywhere. It lands on the floor, it gets picked up, it wipes the bench. It's like yuck. I've owned restaurants for 20 years, I've worked in them for 45. I first worked with espresso machines in 1981 in a cafe in Byron Bay while I was surfing. And I noticed that thing, well, geez, it took me all those years. And then one day I went, I could make something that fixes that and gets rid of that issue. So we've got a health and safety thing as well, because baristas burn their hands all the time, and after a period of time, their skin shrinks on their hands. They don't notice it until about 5 years after they finish working in a cafe. They don't get any ACC. So, oh my God, I hadn't to do my makeup. So this transmission of bacteria, germs, and that doesn't get clean because you can't clean a rag or sanitize it with tap water. It's only 60 degrees. You've got to be above 112. The solution. It's a case for change. The dirty rag's got to go. We don't need it in that area. You could have an assigned rag for doing something, but a cloth, but it ends up to be a rag, unfortunately. And you want a hygienic coffee area. We just use the wand. Benefits of it, it's a hygienic solution. Time saving, cost benefits, burn injuries, ACC claims minimised, build up of bacteria eliminated, it's eco-friendly. It comes with an organic cleansing solution. That cleansing solution is supplied by a company I've been dealing with, and I've got that signed off worldwide to use in this industry. It is already proven. The unit has a brush inside it. It's just a handheld. You can have a handle on it. You don't have to have a handle. Slide it out, take it over to the machine, and give it the clean. And here it is, just like that. Give it a spark as well here.
Please. No, we're not going to use this.
So we move on from that. Potential markets out there. First, we're starting off small. We're starting in Whanganui, and we've got units being made at the moment. They will be supplied to local cafes, and hopefully we went and checked out 30-something cafes, 32 actually, in Whanganui. Take that over the rag. Now, okay, we might not sell them all, but let's say we get 20 or 30% of them. The worldwide market is massive on that basis. So then we move through to some of the bigger ones out there. It might be Starbucks, or it might be the coffee club. But, you know, I like BP, they serve good coffee, and their counters are at an angle to the area, so you can see what they're cleaning things with. They've got 18,500 places worldwide. So its survey was bang, let's go. We're it comes from local manufacturers to start with. The brush comes from overseas, a preference. It's a 4-week lead time. Milestones. Well, so far, they've been coming up with the idea, getting the patent on it, structuring a system that the business will innovate over time, meeting up with Team Innovate to help us, and the current and the future, established management team, structure team, etc. And myself, Engineer Greg Hill, my advisor and mentor Kathy Haskell, organic cleansing lotion supplier, and advisor to Innovate Whanganui. It's all been fantastic. Thank you.
Kia ora, Steve. Thank you. That's
Thank
great.
you.
I know, as it's been said before, it takes a lot of courage. Volumes. What volumes convert to break even to actually making this as your main source of income?
Well, the initial unit, if we sell a unit at, say, $70 a jug that you see in the shop where they steam the milk, for a lot cheaper than that from my engineer in Auckland, but it'll be coming from overseas at later date.
Do you need to move?
How many?
Yeah, what, have you done any unit
We've done pricing on a structure year, like, you know, whether it's, 50, it's going to cost us like $60 a week. And it's like a couple of thousand, we're looking at $20 a week. But we're looking at the flow of the sanitising agent that goes with it to make the money. Out at approximately $30 a week. That is oil in the world. It's only the second beverage to be drunk besides water.
What has COVID done in terms of your thinking and your model around?
Well, that's a definite...
How has that been? So COVID is here. Is that a hindrance or a help to you in terms of what you're trying to achieve from a business
I hate
perspective?
to say it's a hindrance. The first thing you can go and get is the coffee. And we'd like to make sure that the person's making your coffee, you have to wait at the door for your coffee. But I was working in a cafe last year, the kitchen. Are they healthy? You don't know.
It's the hygiene factor, isn't it?
Yeah, so you're getting your coffee at the door thinking everything's all great, but really is that barista health? You know, the cup gets picked up on the top of the lid, you know, it's handed to you. I'll tell you what, most of you people will be looking each time you go out and get coffee.
Very good. I'll open it up to fellow judges who may have any questions they'd like to ask. Peter Pai, you'd like? Here we go.
Hi there.
Hi.
While we're finding.
That was great. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Hello.
Okay.
Hello.
Okay, we're on. Okay.
All good.
Question for you. So I've got a tip for you. When the COVID question gets asked, okay, and New Zealand remains an exporting country. So we go with that.
Yes.
Yep. Okay, cool. Next one. Who are your competitors?
There's no one out there but the cloth or the
And that's it.
So, yeah.
And have you looked like elsewhere?
Oh, hell yes.
Yeah.
You know, I've been looking at this for a little while now, and I had my foot in the door, I believe, with a big investor, but they let me down. I spent more on coffee and gas than they did on the idea.
And what do you think will be the lifetime of the actual unit? So if I've got a cafe...
We guarantee it to last.
Right.
Okay? The only thing it might need to be replaced is the brush unit.
Do you have a unit here?
A little baby here.
Cool.
So that comes out like that. Stainless steel brush unit in there.
Mm-hmm.
Just goes back in there. It's a bit tight. This one's a bit heavy. It's an initial one.
Yep.
And I prefer without a handle because you don't have to look where you just put your hand out. It's there. It goes on the side of the machine. It goes in a little unit that.
Yeah, last question. And how do you actually clean the unit?
That unit just needs to be washed out straight under the tap, because each time you clean it or rinse it out, you're putting in fresh water and a sanitizer. The sanitizer kills, and it kills up to boil temperature plus. Yeah.
Thanks, Steve. And Sharon has a question as well.
Hi.
Thanks, Steve. Great pitch.
Thank you.
You talked before about ACC analysis on how many...
No, I haven't checked them
there are.
out the last couple of weeks, but it's like getting your foot in the door. It's like, I know my staff had burnt their hands on a thing, but I can't tell you exact figures. I did put in a request for information, but that was a couple of weeks ago. You know,
Right.
I have spoken with the government a lot over the last little while, and last year in lockdown, and I've done a 30-page analysis worldwide of what the product could, at even at like 1%, is pretty damn good. Talking hundreds and hundreds of thousands a week.
Yeah. So do consumers recognise this as an issue? So do people get sick?
They just don't know until they understand.
So there's an education aspect.
Oh, hell yes. You know, it'll be, you know, one day they'll walk in the door of the cafe and they'll see this little thing in there or something like this in the window, and they'll go, we won't get a coffee unless they've got one of those.
And how long, just in terms of using the rag versus your machine, is there, because obviously...
They don't do that. Check it out next time. Coffee should drop to $2.
We've just got one more question. Paul.
Like the idea. It's great.
Yes, thank you, sir.
I've been involved in restaurants, and what dirty things are those coffee machines. However, my question for you is, you said that it'll sell for around about $70, which is not a bad price for something stainless steel. The cleaner. Now, what I like to know is this business profitable just on the units? Forget the cleaner for a moment, because the cleaner requires a resale, a resale, a resale, a resale.
That's true.
Every restaurant's already got cleaners, and I don't want to go and pay for your second cleaner, but I like your device. Will your business work if you just sell the units?
So you can make it work because you're talking numbers, but at the same time, the cleaner is a cleansing agent that should be recommended by MPI because it's a solution that is proven to be a cleansing agent. And the wand itself, yeah, the wand cleaner works, but you've got to have that cleansing. And the beauty of it is, it's going to cost you less than what the rag does maintenance-wise each week anyway. So why not take both of them on? You can pay off the unit and get the cleanser in, it's only going to cost you $30 a week. Well, you spend more on $30 a week. You're washing rags, hanging them out. They're all going into your dryer. They're all going into the ocean. They're going to the landfill. I think, you know, having the solution is a brilliant solution.
Fantastic. If I can get a massive round of applause for Steve, thanks.
Thank you all. Thank you, Innovate Whanganui.
I think Steve definitely wins the award for bringing the most props on stage. Thank you very much, Steve. All right, so our next candidate that we have up, I had some notes for him, but he came up to me and told me that he needs no introduction. So for the man who needs no introduction, can I invite Vaughan Campbell up onto stage, please?
Thanks, Tim. I'm a distiller, not a public speaker, so I've actually got some cards here. Imagine being able to do your part to help fight climate change by having a drink on a Friday night. Kia ora, I'm Vaughan Campbell, born and bred right here in Whanganui, home of the beautiful heritage buildings, the National Centre of Glass Art, a booming housing market, and soon to be the best vodka in New Zealand. I'm creating Wanganui's first sustainable, locally sourced eco-distillery, producing a premium craft vodka with emphasis on recycling, with a bottle return program, a wax temper seal so there is no single-use plastic, and the plan of becoming certified carbon neutral. The name of my distillery is Good Bones. Good bones in a building are strong. Good bones in an animal are fast. But for me, it's rather different. A year and a half ago, my world was turned upside down when I was diagnosed with leukemia. This huge life event showed me that my goals are worth pursuing sooner rather than later, so I am following my dreams of creating my own distillery. While also being able to leave a legacy that my children will be proud of, and consequently leaving a better environment for their children. I've been distilling for over 13 years, and in that time have sent varying spirits to competitions from vodka, rum, liqueurs, single malt whiskey that have all netted awards, including many best in class and outright winning the Stillmaster Trophy. I enjoyed challenging the stigma of homebrew from being a terrible moonshine to a drink that can rival the big names in the industry. Traditionally, vodka is made from potatoes or grain like barley and corn. What makes my distillery different from the rest is we're going to use baked goods. Now, you might be sitting there wondering, why on earth baked goods? And there's a pretty good explanation for that. Every year, it is estimated that in New Zealand, over 4,000 tonnes, that's around 11 jumbo jets worth of food, baked goods, is thrown into landfill by distributors and retailers like supermarkets, cafes, and bakeries. When this goes to landfill, it rots without oxygen, creating methane, a greenhouse gas 84 times worse for the environment than carbon dioxide. So by grabbing and using these products before they get anywhere near a landfill, we are stopping the damage they would do to our environment for years to come. My distillery will take these products, mash them into sugars, ferment with a locally sourced yeast, and then distill this wash through my plated column still. This distillation process is repeated a minimum of 3 times to produce our ultra-pure 93% vodka. This is then slowly diluted with spring water before hand-filling, waxing, and applying labels to each bottle. This whole process will solely take place in Whanganui. Spirits industry in New Zealand is at a 7-year high, with over 15.5 million litres available last year, with over a 5% rise on the year before, and this year is already looking to increase on that. New Zealand follows trends from the USA and Australia, where consumers are choosing quality over quantity in order to make an experience of their alcohol consumption. They're seeing higher standards around sustainable manufacturing processes, carbon footprints, eco-friendly packaging, and more. Our early adopters of our product will be the eco-conscious consumer, someone who is aware of their impact on the environment. The everyday life involves being eco-friendly, from reusable coffee cups, composting, recycling, reducing their use of single-use plastic, and using sustainable products and companies. Almost every industry in all of our day-to-day life has an eco-friendly option, from clothing and cleaning products to paint and even petrol. But at the moment, we have no eco-friendly options at the bottle store, and I will change that. In our first year, we want to sell 500 bottles of our vodka. This would save roughly 400 kilos of surplus food going to landfill. We will sell our premium vodka in small batch volumes of 700 ml bottles to local restaurants and bars, as well on the distillery's very own website. Before taking to the road, I already have a local specialty baker on board, and without my test batches, I have already stopped 23 kilos of surplus food going to landfill. My team at the moment consists of my wife, the chief taste tester, and myself, as well as having 3 amazing mentors during the Innovate Whanganui program that have helped to progress my tiny bud of an idea into a fully fledged business model that I will use to take on the world. Winning this competition would allow me to get up and running faster by being able to upscale my boiler and specialty equipment, and enable me to do the necessary legal requirements to open up Whanganui's first distillery in the next upcoming months, as well as having more amazing support from the team at the factory and Whanganui and partners who have been instrumental in pushing me out of my comfort zone and showing me I've got what it takes. Sustainability is no longer about doing less harm, it's about doing more good. We only have one planet. Let's drink to it.
Thank you. You have answered my first question. I don't know much about distilleries or spirits. I just drink whatever's put in front of me. But I was going to ask you about your name, because when I saw the name without knowing about the baked goods, I was thinking, is this stuff out of a pig bucket or something? So it's good you explained that, and I hope you let everyone else know about it, whether it's on your bottle, etc. So what I was going to ask you is, my other question was about scale. How your baker that you've aligned yourself with, what quantity of baked goods, is this waste from their baking the...
Yeah, so it's their excess from making their cakes and things like that I then take. And
So when it's scaled, how many bakeries do you think you're going to have to align with? I mean, you may be competing with pig farmers that have had a relationship with bakeries. You might be competing against people that feed the homeless. Have you thought about what sort of supplies you're going to need?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So at to a pig farmer, I can get in before that, and then it can still go to the pig farmer so it's not going to waste.
So does the baked goods, does it have to be separated, like can butter and oils go within that, yeah?
Yep, and if anything, it's actually quite good to have the sort of the butter from the icing. It acts as an anti-foam, so you don't get foaming coming up through the still. So it works quite well.
Just to, awesome. The provenance behind the story is great, just to say. The volume, so I may have missed it. You talked about 23 kgs of waste, we'll call it waste, to produce how many litres?
This was just my test batching,
Oh,
so
yes.
it was just working out my efficiencies and everything like that.
Yeah.
So all up, I've probably created about 10 litres.
Out of that 23 kgs?
Yes.
And you're selling that at $80?
Yes.
Yeah, and and done the number, and I'm presuming this is just done at home?
My
Or
test
what-
batches have been,
Yes.
but with the requirements of alcohol and things like that, it needs
Yeah.
to be done in a proper, what they call a customs controlled area. So I've actually talked to a brewer about coming in and using theirs, and they seem pretty interesting.
These are some of the metrics that you quickly can talk about.
Yes. I can go through to each batch cost, so it can tell you there what's going on. The prices are all at the retail that I can get as a home brewer, not as a business as well.
And finally, who have you talked to about proof of concept and developing relationships to
waste so
Absolutely.
much.
Yeah, I mean, if we could stop that, the waste that goes, that's amazing.
So if you were out of business because you had no baked goods that were being wasted, that would be an amazing result for you.
Absolutely. But we can also flick and tune the distillery into, say, going to a orchard where their fruit just goes to waste anyway. Not necessarily to landfill, but it does go to waste. So we can take that and use that as well.
So does that make any difference to the end product? I know nothing about distilling.
Because vodka's a tasteless, clearless, colourless thing, the amount that my still can strip the flavours, I can actually control. So I can leave some flavour in there. They say that my vodka tastes sweet, and so that's all available for me to tweak. So if we get something that I'm unsure of at first, I can strip the flavour right out.
Awesome, thanks. Can I ask a question?
Of course you can.
Thank you. I don't know if anyone else is thinking this, but can we have a taste?
Absolutely, yeah.
Just while that's happening, how, in terms of your thought process, in terms of alcohol and its perceptions and its what it means from a community perspective when it's not respected in the right way, have you thought about that and worked through that, and
Yep.
what have you come out with?
So the part is that obviously with the price point that I'm selling at, it is a premium product. So it's not something that I feel would be drunk a lot, like per se, say as to compared to a $30 bottle of Smirnoff. So that's my reduction of harm, I feel.
Cool, thank you. Unless there's any other question, judges?
Well, one moment.
I think the
one
judges-
second, 1 second.
Over to you, Tim.
Seems like the judges are taken care of at the moment with the vodka. Thank you very much, Vaughan. That was a fantastic presentation. You can leave that with me if you like. I can take that off your hands. That would be good. All right. Thank you for that. I'll give you your notes back as well, Vaughan. All right, so our next contestant up, that's a really hard act to follow. Anyone who gives out free vodka as part of their pitch is going to be in with a grin with the judges. So our next contestants up are Sarah and Sam from Impact Dogs. So Impact for Dogs removes the plastic wrapped around the dog roll and seals it in an edible casing. It is full of quality ingredients and less preservatives. Their product will simplify daily dog feeding by removing daily irritating problems with current dog roll products while also producing no waste. Ladies and gentlemen, Sam and Sarah.
Who here has a dog? We do. We currently feed a pack of 60. Good evening, I'm Sam, and this is Sarah. We started Impact, a dog food company, looking to get into the dog roll market with a fully edible dog roll. Commonly, couples like Sarah and I get together. We progress into a relationship, getting a dog to see if we are worthy of creating a family.
So Sam had 16 dogs and I would occasionally feed them, but picking the plastic off each roll, I would get it stuck under my nails and this would make me gag. So Sam would comment, if you can't even feed my dogs, how would you feed a baby?
We started this project to fix a major problem we had on this farm. With the dog food we were buying, the performance we were getting, and the inconvenience of feeding it.
So we wanted to create a solution for other dog owners like ourselves, and these are the problems that we found. The plastic on the dog roll is contributing to the 15 million tonnes of plastic going into landfill, and the subpar nutrition and the preservatives, the time it takes to feed these 60 dogs, the amount of
It reduces waste, is quick and easy to feed, and is full of quality ingredients. Other dog rolls are similar to the human sizzler, which isn't allowed to be called a sausage because it doesn't contain 50% meat. Casing, and replaced it with a fully edible protein casing, which is safe to eat for a dog. Our unique cooking procedure means we don't have to fill our rolls with bad preservatives. And Sustain and Untamed come in a biodegradable box, which the lid flips off and doubles as a cutting board. And when you're finished cutting your proportion, you put the rest of the roll back in the sealed box in the fridge. Because let's face it, who wants to feed Chunky, aka dead possum, and leave it sitting open in the fridge? We don't. Lauren, Sally, and Doug don't either.
Who's Lauren? She's one of our core customers. She's 32, owns 2 dogs, and treats them as if they were her children. Sustain is perfect for her when she wants to take her darlings away for the weekend to Waiheke. She's on our subscription model, 16 rolls delivered to her door every month. Then there's Sally. She's 25, an interior designer, and lives in Ponsonby. Unfortunately, sushi has allergies. Sally is socially responsible and likes to feed good quality, eco-friendly food. Our roll under a formulated diet that does not contain common proteins like chicken and beef, but contains wild options like venison, goat, and jack mackerel. Sally orders this as soon as she needs it, and the overnight delivery makes her happy. Then there's Doug. He's 40, a sheep and beef station manager, and is in charge of feeding up to 50 dogs once a day. He's on our annual plan, and in Doug's case, this is 35 grand a year. Our roll full noise is a high-fat, high-protein diet that keeps the dogs performing at their peak all day long on the farm.
These dog rolls are priced at the top end of the market as they are superior products.
We have 2 town options, Sustain and Untamed. They come in a 4-pack and the delivery cost is included in the price. We also have the farm option, full noise, and this is delivered in half-ton and ton lots to the farm.
Our production costs show behind us. We plan to produce 2,000 town and 3,000 farm rolls a month. And in year 2, upscaling, tripling town. We've been feeding these rolls to our dogs over the last 6 months, and we have seen a huge gain in productivity. Our dogs are healthier, happier, and have shinier coats.
I now don't find it disgusting to feed Sam's dogs, and I'm willing to do so. We also agreed on having 3 children. With our roles providing a better environment for their future. I'd just like to say a huge thank you to our family team who are here supporting us tonight and everyone involved with Whanganui Innovation for your time and knowledge. Thank you.
That was great, guys. Done a lot of work on your presentation, and you're well underway, obviously, with sales, with these subscriptions happening. Got a few questions for you. I like it, and like you, I hate the plastic. You know, it ends up everywhere on your property, and so this is good. A couple of questions on this. I wasn't sure if you were a dog food manufacturer or a membrane manufacturer, because obviously there is some form of membrane. What are you? Are you both?
We're a dog food manufacturer, but it's all human grade product.
Do you manufacture the outer casing?
No.
Okay. So it's not so for you, the future is in selling more dog rolls, not in selling that packaging offshore or anything?
No.
Okay.
Nobody's ever used this packaging before in dog roll.
Very
And
good.
we have to buy, if we buy 10 Ks of it, the first year in dog roll or dog manufacturing anywhere.
Okay. So just moving on a little bit then, you're doing this manufacturing, you've got somewhere set up, you've got a farm, I take it, with that many dogs, so you've got somewhere set up as like a butchery at the farm or a manufacturing spot?
Currently, but we're looking at getting a factory built between Martin and Whanganui.
Okay. And what will you use the prize money for if you win this?
To buy that first 10K of collagen to guarantee us that supply, and they've got a contract. NEO Australia has given us a contract that nobody else can use that for dog food for a year.
Very good, very good. I like what you're saying, so I'll pass it to the other judges. They'll have some questions, I'm sure.
Yeah, just following on. So how long have you been operating for?
We've been selling, Sarah's been selling since February.
This year?
Yep.
But the dog roll's been a project for about 18 months.
Cool. You talked about Doug, who spends 35K per annum. Yep. Is that what he's buying from you, or that's what it's costing him to feed his dogs?
This is what previously cost us to run our team of dogs, our 60 teams on the farm, pack of dogs on the farm. So we've been placing for years, we've just been buying it from different places, which hasn't worked what we've been getting and the price we've been paying. So that's what forced us into researching, and we started with nutritionists and formulated our own diets. We had ups and downs and came to good diets, and going from there.
I'm sorry, I'm just trying to understand Doug. So Doug, where does Doug is your customer, or he's your customer?
He's our customer, yeah. So around our area, we've got similar customers to Doug stations as well that we've been supplying at the moment.
That's very good. So in terms of the market segmentation there, where do you see your biggest impact, or where are you seeing your biggest effort to maximise where you want to go?
We want to provide for all the farms. We started
So
this
farms are going to be the core from a core business
because
perspective?
you can send it out in bulk.
Yeah.
And we've already proven that with the little business that we're doing by sending tons out to around our valley.
How do you get to the market in terms of, I'm looking at Lauren and Sally there, what's your strategy to get to them?
We're currently with Facebook and Instagram, but it's email. Farmers are more going out and about and being present in the community.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and word of mouth, really. If it's good, then it spreads pretty fast.
We also supply another raw pet food, which is supplied to only town dogs at the moment throughout the whole country.
That's all I have, thank you. And just to say, we were the judges before. We thought that was the salamis or the food that was coming out, and they go, no, it's the next contestant.
Do you want to taste this?
Thank you very much.
Can I just ask you a question? So, does it need refrigeration, or how, like in terms of being transported, and then if it were to sit on the shelf at the local dairy? Because I've got exactly the same problem as well, feeding my little Foxy a dog roll, and I have to it's horrible. So, yeah.
Yeah, it does. It will need to be refrigerated. Obviously, the way other ones get rounded is just full of them with preservatives, so they don't need to be refrigerated, which we don't want to go down that track. Obviously, our carrier will get it to the customer on time, and it will be there fresh. So if they refrigerate it, they should get 21 days out of it.
And have you done any numbers around the amount of plastic that could be avoided in New Zealand if, say, the majority of farms were to use your product?
Just for dog rolls, well, from feeding Sam's dogs, we'd fill up a wheelie bin full of the plastic, and he'd be throwing it every week. Like, it's a lot. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hence the name Impact.
Just one question, just in terms of cost comparison with regular products.
Yep, we are top end. So our Untamed, our Sustain, which comes out at 14. This here is about $15, which you can't really even see the meat in there, and it's covered in plastic.
And your branding would go on the packaging, the external packaging, rather than this?
Yeah, there is an option to actually sort of burn it into the collagen, but we were going to put it on the fully biodegradable boxes. Yeah, I think.
Can we freeze it?
Yes.
Great.
Yeah, you can freeze, and the other advantage is for the farmers, when it's freezed, it won't stick together, the outside rolls, so you can pick out one or two out of the freezer, out of a 10-pack bulk.
Fantastic. All right, folks. Big round of applause for Sarah and Sam, please. Are you going to be giving out samples after this?
Yeah, that's right. Drink too much vodka. Eat it. Oh. Thank you.
Alrighty, so we're now coming up to our final contestant for this evening, our seventh person to jump up and pitch their idea to our judges. Our next contestant is Ben Blaine, who has a product called Wellstream. Wellstream is a world-first product designed to disrupt the digital well-being industry. It works by providing a 24/7 boost to the user's self-awareness, support network, and access to well-being tools that work. Wellstream is being developed in Whanganui to support Aotearoa through the pandemic era and beyond. Please give a warm round of applause for Ben.
So kia ora everyone. So it's a little bit of a stutter and it comes out when I talk about the things I care about most, so it's going to come out tonight. Just treat it like a bit of a kind of accent, and I'll try my best. I've got my note here. It says just breathe, and we'll see how we go. So kia ora everyone. I'm Ben Blaine, and I'm here to sort of create something new. Let me tell you why. So 3 months ago, there was a young man pacing back and forth outside of my dojo. When I went to ask him how he was doing, he told me he wanted to kill himself tonight. This is the problem. We're in a mental well-being crisis. So global mental well-being is falling off a cliff. It went from 90 points in 2019 down to just 66 in 2020. And it was even worse here, going from 74 points down to 61. But it's actually twice as bad as you think, because this is a 200-point scale. So what does this mean? First of all, it means that our young people are getting so ground into the dirt, and it means that our workers and businesses are struggling. So this is a huge problem, and we all want to make it better. But what gets measured gets better, and people can't measure mental well-being. So there are even 20,000 mental health apps out there, and none of them measure mental well-being. And so the situation's kind of like driving a fast car that has no speedometer. And this is the problem. People can't measure mental well-being, but what gets measured gets better. So we measure mental well-being with Wellstream. This is our solution. It's the Wellstream app, and this is what it gives you. Self-awareness, targeted support, tools that work, and a strategic overview. But why is this useful? Well, it's because you can test anything at any scale. Will yoga improve your well-being. Well, stream it. It turns out that it's awesome. What about a sort of waka ama? Well, stream it. It's even more awesome. What if you're a business and you want to try 30-hour weeks, staff challenges, or sort of expert speakers? So well, stream it is to find what lifts your most at-risk staff. Right now, it should be sinking in that Wellstream is a system for finding sort of mental well-being. So this is a big idea, which is why it's being tested by Youthline, Ember, BCITO, and Zero, it's like Invasive Predators Limited. Speaking of our customers, we're targeting a good well-being goal who are willing to commit and collaborate to a superior outcome. In terms of our business model, it's really simple. To learn more than anyone else, co-design the best tools and then support our customers to grow. We're going to make money through a subscription model, and the platform pricing will be $200 per staff per year, or put a different way, 1 sick day saved equals paid, and the business can keep the 500% return on investment whilst creating a healthier kind of society. Here's our financial forecast through to the end of 2023. It starts off by just onboarding one customer per month for the first 12 months and giving them superior service to break in kind of August of kind of 2022. And from there, it's just about scaling with confidence so that we're cracking into kind of $200,000 per month gross profit by the end of 2023. Being a digital business, we actually have quite kind of well-being and safety. Come from a science and kind of R&D background. I've got skin in the game, but most of all, this was my idea and we've made it real. And by that, I mean that we prototyped in 2018 and we proved the concept 2019, fundraised and trademarked in 2020, and we've built this now real. And so you're welcome and to download this from your store and to help us to understand what mental well-being is in the and I am ready. Thank you, Whanganui.
And for doing something that's obviously about as well, and is a growing problem. So. Like me, stickability, adoption, engagement, and churn. What sort of approach are you taking to ensure that there's that continued
per day, and that's it. So we've currently got 40 people in our trial group, and part of that I way, not in a way trying to get them to form other sorts of kind of app addictions, which is one of the which we've got right now. Yeah.
Great, thanks. And one more question before, just a bit thick. So just around wellness, Wellstream it. How are you? So you're gathering data, which is helping to inform solutions that you will utilise for your customers. How does that sort of work?
Yeah, cool. So there's two things at play here, and the first one is that sort of way was in my 20s, and it was the same with this dude who turned up at my dojo, is that he didn't have any skills to understand all the patterns at play in his life. He couldn't kind of figure out what was good for him and kind of what wasn't. And so this app is that you'll see basically in real time things in your life are actually doing to your kind of mental well-being. And so it's a compass you climb up. The sort of data side of it, we get all this data so before it leaves the person's phone, so it's really safe. But from that, we can what people are doing and what's working, and the things that work, we can add the starting point. It's sort of here's a journey. This sort of rangatahi, massive, really hard to reach. In fact, I've got a slide for it. Let's go over here. So. We've got 3 questions with them, and number 1 is sort of how can we reach them, so how can we support them, and sort of who are the champions, okay? And so part of it is about finding what's going to work, and that's by talking, and then finding those people for whom it works really well, and they can actually champion for the rest of their cohort and be an example of someone who's gotten out of that headspace themselves, which is kind of like what I am.
Fantastic. So it's personalised, and then you're utilising the data to inform other.
Yep. Right. Super smart.
I've just got one. Hi, Ben. Looking for mental wellness services can be intimidating, and well done on providing this for people that would otherwise be nervous going into a centre. People with maybe it.
Yeah, so funnily enough, the prototype is still my favorite. So I have a mental illness, which is bipolar disorder, and I'm happy to say that because we should be destigmatizing this. And it's great, but sort of the prototype than the fancy which we have sort of uploaded. And what I realized was that as specific as possible, but that's actually not that, and it comes down to sort of whakawhanaungatanga of just sort of walking alongside with people, understanding what's going to work for them, and then we can just put a switch in the app, that switch, and if you suffer from like anxiety, then the entire app transforms to be about helping you with your anxiety. If you're like me, it transforms to what are the 6 of bipolar disorder, how do you understand that, and what are the 6 toolkits you need to get out of that, okay? And so this is a life's work project. This isn't like a I'm going to do for the rest of my time.
Cool, thank you. Can I ask you, can you talk us through a bit about the demographic of your customer base, and also the age demographic?
Let's go through a bit of data so we've got a picture to look at the same time. Dropped out of school, and this is what they're feeling. Trial and error. There's no courses about and so a big focus of the project is sort of how do we turn 10 years of trial and error down to 1 year of learning, okay? And so basically, it's this 18 to 44-year-olds sort of who we're targeting, and we're doing it through our social enterprise business model of actually getting the service providers and the sort of employers to buy it, and then their staff benefit and they reap the rewards of that, as well as it's a good thing to do.
Just how do you make it a business that becomes your, how are you turning it into making it a business?
Sure. So give us 30 days to improve your mental well-being for good. I'm serious.
I suppose, this is the banker coming out on me. I'm just trying to download it now. Do I pay for that? Or am I paying for your services? What am I paying for as a customer? Yeah, what am I paying for as a customer?
Cool. So, so there's actually two tiers of pricing. One of them is because some people are just going to sort of download this from the kind of app store. It's actually free right now, and everyone who takes part in the trial is going to get a 12-month kind of free kind of subscription after that. But it will be very typical in that there'll be a level of functionality which will be free, okay, and that'll be in sort of supporting people to just be able to understand where they are. And basically the sort of free version is that you can check your sort of mental well-being at any time, and sort of if it's low, then it's going to connect you through to your sort of trusted supporters. We've also partnered with 39 free kind of helplines nationwide and 1,600 worldwide as well, okay? So it's going to help you to talk, and the paid one will be more like, so if you want to have this big data pool on yourself about the things which work and don't work, and then there's the business one where the business gets those three coloured lines about the, about like how their staff are and what's working for their different staff members. And the reason why I said it's sort of collaboration based is because if we've got 20 businesses all trying different things, we can share the kind of information so that they're learning 20 times faster.
Cool. So you've trialing it at the moment with individuals. What businesses are you? Where have you gone in terms of the business stream, and what feedback have you had?
Cool, yes. So the feedback's really good. Being a super sort of general tool, it's come back that there's a lot of businesses who are planning to do their own kind of trials of things and set that up, but instead they go, can we just use your app to do it instead? And the feedback's been really good, and the people from, say, sort of Youthline and from kind of MBAT and from sort of BCITO who are actually trialing, like, I can't say who they are because that would be breaching their privacy, but they are people who are sort of decision makers. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Ben.
Thanks, everyone.
Massive round of applause for Ben, please. Okay, and that concludes our 7 pitches for the evening. And now it is time to judge. Right, so now that we've heard from all of our contestants, it's time for our judges to get to work. They'll now retire back to their private room out the back to run through their scoring sheets, their notes, and decide who should be the Innovate Whanganui 2021 winner and take home that $10,000 bait. We'll have an opportunity to have a bite to eat. We've got some food coming through from the lovely Frank Bar. We've got some food for the judges as well, because we don't want hangry judges judging. There'll be a chance to go to the bar, and there'll also be probably the longest 20-minute ever for the contestants. So, over to you. I'll jump back on stage when we're getting close to the verdict and call everyone back in. Once again, thank you very much.
Yeah, better. Woohoo! Yeah. Nice. So we're playing the 20-minute countdown, so that's what people are seeing now.
Awesome.
Yeah, we need more time to start. Five.
Yeah, maybe if we just call.
Yeah, or I can.
It's going to be pretty tight because we're running about 15 behind.
Okay, cool.
There you go.
Oh. Whew.
You've got plenty of this, man. I think it's the most stressful thing he's done in a wee while.
A little bit. How are you, Monday? Yeah. Some good shots. How do you find working in this low light? How high do you get? last ones I did, dental practice in Army, and yeah, okay, I didn't want to find so I did just try something new and put my whitening and shot them all in each of their little their little rooms. So they're in their environment, and what I wanted to capture was when something works what do they see, how do you breathe and try and capture and so we can do it, so we can time it but we can on record. So you're not waiting for it. And that went pretty well. Still current now, but they had a photographer between just so almost none of it's all been captured at the moment. Really felt like you were into a really serious person. Angle looking back up the shoulder. Yeah, but if it's fun, so I muddle my way along and do my best, but in time to go, I'll be very like it was a revelation when I said, oh, this is so good information, she works. And it's like, hey, if you can't stop the shit, that's not very good. Oh man. 7 hours late. I have to put it back up again. Technically I am, but I hate social media. I'm just not on.
Yeah, no worries. Henderson Brown is the name of the business. HendersonBrown.co.nz. 1T.
Oh, 1T?
Yeah.
.co.nz.
Yeah. And that's me. So when you've got nothing or whatever, and if you even just want to get in touch and whatnot, I'm around.
Good. Lovely.
So, yeah.
Awesome. Nice talking.
Yeah, you
cool.
Know.
in the background, eh?
Yeah.
And that's just for, like, they're the ones that are just being finalists. Does it make you want to, like, get into
Well,
it
it makes
next
me want
year?
to get a decent idea together, yeah.
I'm sure you've had decent ideas.
I'm actually, it's weird. Like, I can talk a good game on stage. I'm good at that. And I can run a business okay. I'm not a natural entrepreneur though. I'm actually serving other people's ideas.
But that's the thing though, some of these people, they're not naturally public speakers, they just like doing this.
Yeah, but they've got cool
That's why
ideas.
they need people like you.
Exactly, so that's it. Exactly, yeah. So it's that balance, you know, it's a team.
It's funny, I've got a friend that does HR and they do it for small businesses that don't have an HR team.
Yeah.
Because of all the stuff that's coming up with COVID, you know, do they tell their workers that they need to go and get a vaccine or not, you know? Yeah, there's a whole lot of issues, and so it's not just employment law, it's just in normal how to read a
Sorry,
contract.
I just need to do this again. I need to read. I've been told another 5 minutes.
Yeah.
So.
That's really neat.
Yeah, it's a cool tool. Yeah, it's great.
Is it on Creative Suite or is it?
No, it's completely independent. So the app is. Oh, it's that's live, and this is so this is Facebook, that's YouTube, and this is live here.
Jeez.
And everybody in the live stream is now currently listening to us talk.
Oh, right.
Yeah, because the microphone is unplugged, the feed from the desk is currently unplugged. So I'm glad we haven't said anything offensive.
We wouldn't do that anyway.
No, we wouldn't. Yeah, no, Katie's stuff is awesome. It's lovely when it gets a chance to.
Just with that light shining on it, it's fantastic. I really like the questions the judges ask.
Well, I hope so, yes.
Because they got over 50 applicants to start with, whittled them down to 20, and then whittled them down to what was meant to be 5, but they couldn't just settle for 5, so they did the 2.
Yeah, I think a friend of mine got into the 20 and didn't progress past that.
What's that?
A friend of mine was in the 20, I think, and then didn't progress past that. And his idea was cool. So
Well, that's the thing, so, yeah.
Competition's hard.
And imagine what, if they're still working on it, what they'll be like next year. If they start doing some market research and they understand who their customer is, what, you know, all that stuff, and can articulate it. But everyone be sitting down.
Well, yeah.
The judges are still
Yeah.
that has got to be one of the most stressful. All right, so we'll jump back into it and we'll be able to run through. Innovate 2022, we need to do a plug for next year as well. I'd like to say that with the program over the last weeks, it's been but we'll also be keen mentors who want to get in. But enough about that. Let's announce the prizes. Tonight we have a number of prizes. First up, award for the best fit for advertising campaign. The winner of this award will receive $1,000 in advertising through the Media Works network. After that, each of our top 5 finalists have received $3,000 towards developing their business idea, and each team tonight will receive an Innovate Whanganui Finalist Award made by local glass artist Katie Brown. Prize for tonight for winning Innovate Whanganui 2021. Our winner will receive $10,000 towards their business, and this award, again, made by local glass artist Katie Brown. I'd now like to invite all of our contestants up on stage. Oh, I'm nervous and I know the result. I'll just get everybody, if you could stand over there. Yep, that would be great. Excellent. Now, the judges had an incredibly hard time. I've been told that it is a difficult job to be a judge, but I had no idea until I sat and witnessed what they've just done over the last minute. So can I get a massive round of applause for the judges? I'd also like to up on the stage a little bit of feedback and maybe adjust on the awards that we've had tonight. Awesome.
Kia ora tātou. Te mea tuatahi mihi ana i a koutou. I a koutou wakaro, i a koutou aroha ki runga ki tēnei kaupapa o Innovate. E mihi ana i a koutou rātou te tautoko ana i a koutou mahi. Just to say that you're here and been here, you've got over some major hurdles. And everyone here to support you in those hurdles. Because we have a saying here in Whanganui that it's known as the rauko. So you are only as big as the shadow you cast. So there's many people behind you. And what I see here is great shadows. And because of COVID, they're only here in restricted numbers, but there's many behind you to get to this point. Applause. On behalf of our judges, say the least, and we have been, as much as you, under pressure in terms of time to make a decision. But we have seen and heard, and we have had input from those who have been close to you, supported you all through the mentoring, and have also provided to the feedback of the decision which will be announced shortly. So just to acknowledge Brad and Dad, who's here tonight. Awesome, absolutely awesome. And we've enjoyed your kōrero tonight. And around housing is an absolute issue for us as a nation. And thank you for taking on that challenge to contribute to it being better for those of our generations to come, notwithstanding. Secondly, Mike, kia ora. It's great, as I said. I know what it's like, only recently having a coming up 2-year-old, a first grandson, and as grandparents, we have had to help clothe him because of the reality we're on parents of today. Other ways to support bringing up children, because as it says, is where it takes a village to raise a child. And I acknowledge your enterprise and what you are trying to do as well, on behalf of our judges. Lauren, thank you for your story. For everyone tonight has had a better understanding in terms of the procedure that you talked about and what people are trying to do to improve wellness. And wellness is important, as we all know. And on behalf of us all, I'm sure we all got an insight. 1,900 procedures that are paid personally, 300 that are publicly funded. You know, it doesn't take much to do the numbers in terms of 2,200 at $26,000 in terms of what that does and people making that change. And I can only imagine again, people who talk about it and you sharing your story helps make it, take away the stigma. That thank you to all of you tonight. Yes, it can only be one winner, and but what that means for those, you are all winners in our eyes. You're all winners in our eyes, and please continue to strive, because we would love to all see your businesses flourish to the potential and to where your aspiration is. So, kia ora tātou.
Thank you very much. To say we have a first in Innovate history that I've been told from Dave from the factory, that tonight's decision, I must admit, or I must confess to you, that it was not unanimous. So apparently every other Innovate final has been a unanimous version from the judges. And the reason we took so long in there is because all of these ideas have got fantastic merit, and it was just so hard to pick one. But there can only be one winner of Innovate 2021. First though, I'd like to announce, or I'd like to get Pat Williams from MediaWorks up on stage to present the campaign award. Please welcome Pat.
Kia ora guys, I'm Pat from MediaWorks. So the team at More FM 92.8 and the MediaWorks Whanganui, we're honoured to be able to partner with Whanganui Partners in the factory to bring Innovate Whanganui 2021 to the city. We'd like to thank the teams from Whanganui Partners, the factory and the business coaches, the judges, and most importantly these amazing entrants who presented awesome ideas tonight. And so after some serious debate between me and Sue, we're proud to present this year's MediaWorks Marketing Award to someone who showed both a need and a great understanding of their target market and proved a good match for our marketing strategy. So this year's MediaWorks Marketing Award goes to Lauren Pint.
Fantastic, thanks heaps for that, Pat. All right, I'd now like to invite Jonathan Sykes, the Acting Chief Executive for Whanganui and Partners, up on stage to say a few words and to announce tonight's winner. Please welcome Jonathan.
Thank you, Tim. Kia ora, everyone. This all started with a LinkedIn conversation that Dave Craig from the factory and I had about a year or so ago. It probably says quite a bit about Dave and I that it was about 68 words between us that we decided that Innovate Whanganui was formed. So it's great to be here today to see this come into action. I'd witnessed the strength of the program in Palmerston North. I was really keen to bring this to life in Whanganui, and so it's great to now be here tonight to see these fantastic ideas and to see the people up on stage with such passion and amazing ideas I'm sure they'll take forwards in their own rights. Putting on this event has been a big effort by everyone. We've had to plan this event, replan, and then replan again. So I really want to thank everyone involved who's been involved in this event in some form. The Whanganui Partners team, the judges, the sponsors, and everyone involved here tonight that's come along. It's fantastic to see everyone out, particularly coming out of that lockdown period. Well done to our finalists on coming so far. I was there at the top 20 judging 3 or 4 months ago, and there's been a huge amount of improvement. The process you've gone through has really refined the pictures that we've seen tonight. I don't know about you, but I think there's a huge buzz when you hear these pictures, and that's really come through tonight. But of course, there can only be one winner, and we're dying to hear what it is, so you don't want to hear any more from me. So yeah, the winner of Innovate Whanganui 2021 is Vaughan Campbell with Funds.
Fantastic work, Vaughan. Hey, don't run away just yet, Vaughan. Would you like to say a few words?
I just want to thank everyone from Whanganui Partners and the factory. Without them, this wouldn't be possible as well. Also my wife for putting up with everything. And everyone here as well. I know that at the end of this is the end of you guys. Can't wait to see what you guys do. I look forward to seeing it. Thanks.
Awesome. Thanks a round of applause for Vaughan and for the team up here. Our finalists are walk right into the though. Each of them will receive an Innovate Finalists Award, and we'd also like to extend a massive thank you to our judges for tonight's effort. We have some prizes or some thank yous for you. But that is the end of our formal program for the night. Again, a massive thank you to all of you. Please feel free to stay and celebrate with our contestants. Otherwise, we'll see you again in 2022. Good night.